Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to the F.O.B. Dr. Yash here. I want to give you all some updates. It's been a while since I've done any updates on the bus, on what's been going on with it. So I figured I'd go ahead and give you all some updates. The reason why you haven't seen a lot of the updates is because a lot of the updates that have happened are not able to be seen. So most of the stuff that has been done produces changes that aren't visible. So this is a video. You watch videos. There's nothing to watch. What am I going to show you? So now I've got things that I can show you. So, and I can explain to you what I've done, and I can show you some things that are, the finishing touches on what's already been done. So let me flip this camera around. I'll show you basically what's been going on this last little bit since you've seen me on here last. Alright, so I flipped the camera around, and as you can see here, I got some lighting problems. You can see here I've basically got a good bit of the ceiling done. You can start to see some of the color scheme now. You can see the gray on this back wall in contrast to the black on the ceiling. You can see the ceiling's not completed yet. I got to pull those lights down. Also, I need to put the bezel for the roof hatch back in. But I've actually gone through and re-insulated all this all the way up to basically this portion right here, which is right in front of the rear wheel wells. So this is going to be the bedroom and the office. So you can see I started putting some primer over the galvanized. Let's get it to focus. You can see the primer going on over the galvanized metal, because it will not take paint natively. It will reject paint and it'll peel off really quickly. So you can see where, if you look down bottom here, you can see where just putting the primer on has already brightened up that bottom section and making that the same color and evening the tone. All there down there is actually making that wall look a lot better. As you can see here, that's normally what, that very shadowed area is what the wall generally would look like over here. That's what it looked like before. Here's what it's going to look like after, except for it's going to be covered with this gray color. So, so I've got the, you can kind of get an idea of what the ceiling with the lighting is going to look like. That is just going to be a flat black all across the top. It's going to be, of course, I got to put the wiring covers back up too, but you can see what's going on here. The lighting is just really not working with me tonight. I notice if I take pictures it comes out decent, but on the video it actually darkens immensely. Let me see if I can play with the balance. That's better. It's a lot better. So I've also got the flooring pulled up to the edge of the bedroom. So all this wood under here is in pretty good shape. I don't have anything rotten. I do have a little bit of rust I need to fix there. The same kind of rust was over in this corner as well, which is patched up now. So I just need to go through here and basically that's the only thing as far as rust repairs are left before I can finish the entire bedroom. But I got a little bit of stuff to finish right there. That's why I stopped priming. And also I have to finish insulating this wall up to that point. So yeah, actually I got to insulate up to here, just these two windows. This is going to be a wall that I'm framing in here. So the whole ceiling up to that point, up to here, that's why this is hanging out, because this is a perforated ceiling. And you don't want any fibers coming down, so I put a non-woven type vapor barrier in the ceiling so that it breathes well. It does good moisture control. Also keeps the keeps the fibers from coming out, so you don't breathe them. As you can see here, I'm using expanding foam across the tops of here. I was checking to see if that was wet, because this just got done. So they said it dries in an hour. It's pretty cold out here, and it's dry. So I think their claims are valid on their dry times. So you can see here there's expanding foam right in the tops here. underneath this rail and above this rail that kind of seal this off. Also, you have this section insulated now, which was not that way from the factory. It was like this. You just have this open cavity. You can touch the, you can actually touch the outside roof skin right there as it comes down. So you're actually touching like the back of where the drip rail would be. So that's a way for an area to get heated, and the heat, you know, radiates in. So, in an attempt to not only secure the ends of the vapor barrier, but also to actually insulate that space, I've used expanding foam in there. So, the windows do need to be recaulked on the outside, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. Hey, look, I can turn on the flashlight. I should have done this before. Get a little bit better idea. So, planning stages of the bedroom are pretty much done. It's just the execution stage. The bed is going to be going across here. It's actually going to be, you know, half of it's going to be across the top of that engine compartment. And with the frame that it's sitting on, it's actually going to put the top of the bed just below the top of that wall. So curtains are going to be a must. I am going to be making curtains, both for privacy and for a radiant heat barrier. I'm going to be making reflective curtains. Custom making my own. So, yeah, these windows are pretty dark, but, you know, you can see in here pretty good at night with the lights on. But, yeah, that's going to be, that's going to need to be done. You're going to need to have curtains, but this, you can see where this desk is actually slightly forward of this post. The wall of the bedroom is going to be secured to this hoop here. So this desk is actually going to be slightly further back. I'm actually going to be cutting this flush. I'm going to be contouring the bottom of the legs so that it still sits level and it actually sits up on the wheel well. And I'm going to actually be attaching it to the inside of the wall. So once that's pushed in, once the bed's in here, it's going to be kind of tight here. But that's not really going to be a big issue. You're going to actually have plenty of room out this way. You know, I've been standing in it the whole time, and there's plenty of room for changing, plenty of room for whatever, getting in and maneuvering. You're going to have storage area over here, and storage under the bed, and then of course you see storage area in front of the window, which is not the most organized, but it is very functional. So got a rough idea of how this has been working, and that's mostly based on the fact that I've been operating out of this somewhat as a living quarters back here. So, I need to put some adhesive on the mat that goes over here too. It's kind of a heavy rubber. It's kind of weird that it just slid down all of a sudden on its own. I should probably fix that. I'll lay it all down so it doesn't totally get up in the primer. Of course, that side's dry, so it wouldn't matter, but yeah, I need to redo the adhesive there, but that's just a matter of putting down a spray adhesive and, you know, getting a roller and rolling that flat. So that does need to be done as well. But really, it's just a lot of more minor things that need to be done. Of course, flooring is going to be getting done. I have chosen a flooring sample. I'm putting this down just to give you an idea of the contrast against the black. So there's a little bit of a gray tone to that wood, or I should say vinyl plank, but it's actually going to be more like this. It's going to be front to back, so that is going to be all throughout this bedroom area. So we've got flooring picked out, we've got colors picked out, and like I said, the only thing I have left to do is insulate this, and I can go through and paint all this, tie all the gray in, you know, have it all ready to go, put the wiring covers back on, and then it's just flooring and a bed, which I actually may go ahead and put the bed in before I go in. I want to buy all the flooring at once, so I may go ahead and put the bed in, because all I would have to do is move the bed to put the flooring in. Not a big deal. So then once this wall is framed in, so got a few things left to do, but the bedroom's definitely coming together. So as you can see, even though a lot of this is visual, You can tell there's a whole lot of stuff that went into the undercarriage and structure. There's a lot of work that was not visible. All the insulation in the walls is very time consuming. This whole wall, this whole left wall over here is actually done all the way up to the emergency door. It's all insulated. That can be kind of difficult to do, because being that whole side is going to be open and exposed, it needs to be opened and closed in the same day. So that actually requires me to have good weather, daylight hours. You know, I basically got to have a whole good weather day at home, which almost never happens. It literally has to be forced to happen. So I spent about 7.5 hours this past week installing the insulation, you know, pulling all the windows, pulling the outer upper panel of the wall, which was just the part that the window rests on. That's actually what it locks the wall in. So I had to actually take the windows out. I had to take out 5 windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I can count. 5 windows, and I had to take 5 of these panels off. You know, rusty screws, stuff like that, just from age. Everything wants to be stuck. So had to take out, and I also had to detach these vertical sections on the outside, because that actually holds the windows in. So you have these brackets that hold the windows out against the outer portion, but then you have the outer portion holding the windows in, and those are screwed in, and they have hard setting adhesive on the inside. So I had to be really gentle with the heat gun and on each one of them, and just gently pull them up until I could detach that adhesive. So it took me about 7.5 hours to do 5 window spaces worth of insulation, and I am using expanding foam in these spots here to decrease some of the thermal bridging, just to add that extra R value to that wall section there. Of course, any thermal bridging there is going to be diminished by reflecting that heat back out when I make these curtains. So you all see what I'm talking about there once those are made. But so yeah, that was very time consuming, and it's really tricky to make the time work to be able to do those types of jobs. These ceiling panels aren't as bad, even though they're a pain because of the way they're shaped. They're not as bad because I don't have to put it back together the same day. I can come in here and start on it, and if I don't get it done, I can shelf it and come back another day and finish. So, but these parts that have to do with the exterior can be kind of tricky. So yeah, that's all stuff that you just can't see. You don't see it. I hear it, because the sound deadening effect of that insulation is going a long way to make a acoustically very quiet environment in the back here. Again, you see all this glass reflecting sound back and forth. Curtains come in, that's going to quiet things down. All this paint's going to be flat, so that's going to just have that touch of damping, just because it won't be quite the reflective surface that the bare galvanized is, so that may diffuse some of the sound. So a couple things here and there, and it's actually going to be really, really comfortable, not just physically, but audibly. Speaking of physically comfortable, I am finally adding climate control. There's a heater on the way, so there's actually going to be 2 forms of heat in this bus. There's going to be more like an intermediate type heat, for the nights that are a little bit cooler, but it's not necessarily cold. You're kind of above freezing. I'm going to be mostly relying on a small diesel heater. I say small; it's still 27,000 BTUs, so it'll probably run you out of this little room here with the insulation that's in it, and being enclosed. But so I may end up having to leave the door open. So it should be very effective for this size room. So the bedroom will be, as far as heat goes, be very good. There also is going to be wood heat as well. I'm not going to get into that because it's still in the planning stages. I haven't even fully begun making that happen, so I'm not going to speak on it yet. But there are going to be that's more going to be reserved also for the really cold nights, because it's a larger stove and it will probably run you out of this whole bus. especially once it's all insulated. So, just to give you an idea of some of the changes, there's a lot more in the planning stages. I got a couple more videos of some other pieces that are a little bit more auxiliary to this whole project. Not so much the living quarters, but a little bit more of the mechanical side of things and the electrical side of things. I've got another update that I'll be showing y'all. But as far as the bedroom goes, this is where it's at. And it's taking a little bit longer than I expected. Just a couple of things, all these projects, you try to put an ETA on them, you try to get your mind geared towards how long it's going to take, and it always takes longer. So that's just how it ends up happening a lot of times. So there are a lot of unforeseen events, stuff of that nature. So, but we're almost there. It's almost there. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about having it more like an actual bedroom. So, but anyways, just wanted to give you all these updates, let you know how the F.O.B is going. Anyway, as is the usual, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Anything you'd like to see done on this, or any questions you have about the way I'm going about doing things, or anything I may have left out that you've seen. I can address that in a future video, but I guess that's it. So, until next time, I'll see you later.